John Lewis, coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Reverend Vivian. And Reverend Vivian has a question about sigil magic. And if you watch Magic TV regularly, you'll know that we've done a number of vlogs on the subject of sigils, and if you search our archive for sigil, you will find them. And that can give you a lot of background information for this, but Reverend Vivian's question specifically is, can you create a sigil which is intended to be used by other people rather than yourself, and will it be effective? And in particular, will it be effective if they are much less magically proficient than yourself? Can you incorporate the energy, the magic into the sigil to help the person to use it? And my answer to this is yes, absolutely. You can create sigils that are intended for use by other people. And historically, this is generally the case. The person who first created or transcribed the sigil is usually by no means the only person who's ever going to use it. And most people using sigils historically have used sigils that were set long before their birth. However, there are, of course, many cases where you create sigils for your purpose, but you certainly can create sigils for a purpose that is shared with other people. And will this be effective? In my experience, absolutely. And you certainly can imbue them with all kinds of energy, particularly to help focus whatever energy the other person puts into it. And a prime example of this is our Corellian Peace Sigil that we use in connection to our Corellian Peace campaign. And you may have seen the sigil. It's a spiral with arrows going in the 4 directions. It has a very specific meaning, but it also acts in exactly this manner. When people focus their energy into the sigil focuses the energy into the wider energy of the peace campaign, distributing it through the crystal web, and in particular, the peace vortex, which is helping to focus that energy. So you definitely can create a sigil for other people to use, which will help them in what they are doing. Another example is we've done a number of tradition-wide attunements over the years that have often used a particular sigil of one kind or another that the person puts their energy into to sync up with all the other people who are doing the working at the same time. So yes, you can definitely do this, and yes, it is definitely effective. Now, as to the second part of the question, will it still be effective if the person is much less magically proficient than you are yourself? Well, this is a very individual question. And I don't know that there can be one absolute answer to it, because it would depend on the people's particular circumstance. But it certainly can be very effective regardless of their particular background if they're open to it being effective. But by the same token, they can block it unconsciously if they've not worked with their shadow work. So yes, it certainly can be effective no matter what the magical proficiency of the user is, but it also cannot be depending on what their blockages are. So that would be my answer to the question. I hope you find it helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be. Reverend Don, super omnibus of incantations and invocations for all occasions. Mary Ann Kay and I created this massive compendium of magic and artwork for you to use in any way that you would like. There are literally hundreds of spells and hundreds of illustrations, which can be mixed and matched and used in many different ways. Check it out now at witchghoulstore.com.